So what should we be doing? Well, one of them, and it's sort of like stating the obvious, is focus on the customer. But this is something that's to some may be revolutionary, and to others may not. The role of a public servant is to serve the public, not the business. Ooh, sorry, what did I say? Now, the role of a public servant is to serve the public. So, if technology is an integral part of everything that we do, we are here to provide some leadership within the organisation about how to use better technology. Not to promote internal bureaucracies, not to promote old processes, not to continue things that don't work. We're here to provide technology that actually makes things better for the people of New Zealand. Next one is driving enterprise-wide agility. Now, I separate this out from bimodal IT and the like because it's about an agile organisation rather than agile IT. And there's a number of people who I'm now talking to who are now sort of talking about that the speed at which IT systems can be delivered is outpacing the consumptive ability of the organisation. They can't consume at a rate that systems can be delivered. Measuring outcomes to the edge. And this is about this question of how do we now start to think about services to the edge, to the citizen, rather than just existing SLAs. Now, politicians have a great way of talking about this. It's about the narrative, don't they? They talk about the narrative. But it's true. We need to start to think about ways of engaging our citizens in the narrative about how is technology that we're delivering going to make their lives better in a practical and pragmatic way. We shouldn't be sugarcoating this because we're just setting ourselves up for failure. Leveraging OPEX to drive change, and of course New Zealand's been doing a lot in this space, moving from OPEX to Capex, Capex to OPEX. But in a sense, it's about an OPEX mindset as well. It's about starting to think in a very agile sort of way that we invest in certain things, and then if it doesn't work, we just cut it. We don't have an investment requirement with that anymore. Again, in our developing countries, they've been fairly ruthless with that. Old systems that were not going to work, they have just cut those systems off at the knees because they knew there was no point. They didn't have enough money. If you're a developing economy, you don't have enough money to keep on ploughing money into old systems that aren't going to perform and still invest money into new. And last of them is transitioning from monolithic organisations into ecosystems. Now, I was asked by the media in a roundtable media event at one stage about particular large companies and how do you know if a large company is going to do well? Well, of course, there's some pretty obvious answers to that. You know, you start to look at their development path and all those sort of things. But one of the things I mentioned was have a look at their ecosystem, because these days no organisation can do it by itself. Now, for government organisations, there are some particular challenges because we're really, in the past, have been in a mindset of we're government and we deal with suppliers and we do contract negotiations to get the lowest price for a particular commodity service, and they give us that service and we do the work. Now, that's a monolithic way of thinking. The other way of thinking is, yes, you have suppliers and you pay money for it, but you're also offloading expertise that you do the things that are core to you and you aim at being the best in the world at that. And if you are the best in the world at one thing, you then partner with other companies or organisations who aim to be the best in the world at what they do. And together, you end up better because of the combination.